Hi guys, in this video I want to show you how to install Rocky Linux 9.6 on Dell PowerEdge R630 and R720 servers. We have two servers and they don't have hardware support anymore, but they are very suitable for test and development environments. I wanted to use these for KVM virtualizations, and during installation realized that Rocky Linux neither detected the controllers nor the disks. I did some searching on the internet and found that since version 8, Red Hat has removed a number of drivers from its installer, and logically it doesn't support on all Red Hat based distributions. But that doesn't mean it can't be installed. I did some searching and couldn't find a document that explained a procedure step by step. So I decided to create a document for it myself and made a video for it. So let's see what the procedure is like. First, you can visit my website itstorage.net, click on the Linux Unix Windows and click on the install initial config section. There is a post called Installing Rocky Linux on Dell PowerEdge. Click on it and here is a step-by-step installing. I explain how the procedure is. Download the ISO of Rocky Linux 9.6. You can pass the ISO directly to iDRAC. To boot and install, you can create a bootable USB. It doesn't matter which method. You can use one of these. Now, what is the important point? The important point is what RAID controller is installed on your hardware. On my server that I have, there is a PERC H310 RAID controller and a PERC H710. PERC H310 has a driver for itself, and 710 series has own driver for itself. In Linux, the module name of PERC H310 is LSI SAS, and for the H710, 810 or the 2208 series, module name is MPT3 SAS, or for PERC 5i SAS1068E, module name is MPT SAS. It's very old. But these are the two modules that we need to download. You can download these two modules from the repo.org website, download the needed ISOs. The name of the files started with DD. For H310, it is DD Mega RAID. Now, because I want to install Rocky 9.6, I download the file name at the end with EL9_6 EL repo ISO. Here you can see a list of all the old drivers in this website. Depending on your controllers, you can download these. You can also follow this procedure that I am telling you for other controllers. I need two of them, DD Mega RAID and DD MPT3 SAS. DD Mega RAID SAS is enough for me, but which version? It is depending on the version of Linux OS. I want to install 9.6. Here you will find 9_6. You need to download this. Very new, the 6th of June 2025. And for the other one, DD-MPT3 SAS EL9_6 EL repo ISO. We need to download them. DD Mega RAID SAS is enough. I need that for installation because my OS disks are connected to H310 controllers on these servers. I have different disks. I have two 300 GB SAS disks that are connected to H310 controller. I have a number of SATA disks of SSD type that are 200 GB and are connected to H710 controller. I also have some 3 TB disks that are also connected to the H710 controller. I have considered the disks that are connected to the H310 controller for OS. I defined a RAID 1 which gives me about 300 GB of space, and I have a 2-disk model on the H710 SSD disks and high capacity disks. I have created a pool on SSD drives is named SAS pool, which is RAID 5. For high capacity drives, I named it SAS 3TB pool and is configured with RAID 6, which has about 17 TB of space. With this configuration, we are now going to do our installation. Let's see what the procedure is like and what we need to do. The first point is that in iDRAC, you can connect an ISO and an IMG format to virtual media at the same time. These ISOs that you are downloaded from the EL repo websites are compatible with IMG. All you have to do is to copy it and save it to another file and give that file its extension. Rename it to IMG. I am doing this now. IMG. Okay. I'm gonna to connect this image to virtual disk. I'm gonna to turn on the server. This server is an Dell R720xd and two controllers are installed. Okay, let me connect the remote. Well, I'm gonna wait for the server to turn on. Now I'm gonna launch the virtual console. It will take a while to boot. Click connect virtual media. In the ISO section, give it the RHEL Linux 9.6 ISO. Click map device. In the image section, give it the RHEL SAS driver with the IMG extension. Click map device. Okay. I'm gonna go into the UEFI boot manager. I want to set it to boot from the virtual CD. I'm waiting for it to load. The firmware of the interfaces is being initialized. Now the lifecycle controller is loading. Let's wait a bit for it to load. I'm gonna remove some of the parts that take a long time or are long so that our movie doesn't take too long. But in your environment, it takes time. When you're installing, you have to wait for each part to load. I'll select the UEFI boot menu and click on the virtual optical drive. I have set the system to the UEFI and made the virtualization settings and all settings in BIOS. If you want to bring virtualization into your environment, do it. Well, the grub menu loaded. In the menu, go up and select install RHEL Linux and press the E key, insert inst.dd CD-ROM at the end of the line of Linux EFI. At the end, we press Ctrl X to boot the system, or you can press F10. Okay, let's wait. It may take some time here. Don't worry. The only thing is that your iDRAC session may expire during the installation process. Don't close this page related to your console at all, because when you close the page, the virtual CD-ROM drives and the image related to your driver will be disconnected. We will wait until the system boots. This will take some time. The entire installation process takes about 50 minutes. Here it detects that it has a deprecated hard drive. Here the SAS controller has detected as unmaintained hardware type and is now starting to load the driver from the ISO we passed to it. RHEL SAS is showing here. Now the H310 rate controller driver has been loaded. So let's wait for the boot process to complete. Now the Anaconda installer is loading. You select the language. During the installation process, the language that is shown to you is displayed. We click to continue. We can add other languages to it as well. My keyboard is German. I will also add German. Add your needed language here. To change it, I can hold down Alt Shift. Done. Click on time and date. I select my time zone. Done. Now I set the root password. For KVM, the scenario I want to install must have root access via SSH. Click check allow root SSH. Down. And then I define a user as the system admin user. And I give it the same name as sysadmin. Click on the make this user admin. Give it a password. I have chosen a simple password. Here it shows the check dictionary. Double tap it. I'm gonna change it later. It doesn't matter. I have nothing to do with the installation source and software selection section. I'm gonna go to the network section. The first and the second cards are 10 gig. The third card is 1 gig. I'm gonna set it up that for management access. I set host name. The fourth card is unplugged. KVM node 01. Domain lab point local. Adjust it with your own domain. The domain that you want to set up for yourself. So I'm gonna to set the IP on the manual. I'm gonna give on ENO3 the IP. Netmask, gateway, now DNS, search domain, put your own domain, or if it's a test like me, lab.local. I'm gonna click on the connected, down. Now let's see if the disk is detected or not. Yes, it is detected. We have all three virtual volumes. We see Dell PERC H310 and PERC H710. I click on H310 virtual disk. I wanted to install OS on it. I select custom storage configuration and then click OK. I want to use the other virtual disks for virtualization and data. So I'm gonna delete the previous partitions. I'm leaving it on a standard because I want to create my boot partition here. I'm gonna give it 2 gigabytes of space. Set the file system type to extension 4. I'm gonna give it label boot and update settings. The next partition is boot EFI partition. Because my server is configured with UEFI, I need this partition, so I'm gonna give it a 1 gig. I'm gonna put a label on it, EFI. Be careful. These two partitions must be standard partitions. I'm gonna click update setting. Well, I'm gonna create another partition for the swap. For servers, the maximum size can be 16 gigabytes because I have enough RAM on my servers. On servers, we don't need more swap size. I'm gonna click on add mount point. Well, the swap which doesn't have a mount point. I'm gonna fix label, change device type, and put it on LVM. I can use team provisioning LVM or normal LVM. I'm gonna put LVM. It will take your host name as volume group name by default and name your volume group now. RHEL KVM node 01. I'm gonna give it a label swap. Click update settings. I'm gonna create the next partition /var. Space may vary depending on your usage. No, I'm considering 15 gigabyte for it. The file system extension 4. This file system is very stable. Type LVM. I'm gonna update the settings. I will also create a partition for TMP. I want to create all of these as LVM. I'm gonna give it 10 gigabytes of space. I set its file system type to extension 4. Its device type is LVM. Its label is TMP. I click update settings. I create the / partition and I give it 40 gigabyte of space. Click on add mount point. File system extension 4, device type LVM, label root. I click on update settings. Well, since I want to use my Linux environment for KVM virtualization, I prefer to separate /var libvirt partition as well. I allocate 120 gigabyte of space for /var/lib/libvirt, and the rest of the space is left for system partitions, which I can expand them if I want. I have 74 gigs left for now. I am considering libvirt partition as an LVM type, but I want the volume group to be separate and something else. So now I click on the volume group and select create new volume group, and I'm gonna name it RL_VG data. Save. File system will be XFS. I'm gonna give both a label and a name. I use the same KVM_libvirt. Click on the update settings. So this is my partition structure. My operating system is on one volume group, RHEL Linux operating system, and my service are on another volume group. I'm gonna click done, click accept changes. Then I'm gonna click begin installation and the system will go to install. Now it's doing the partitioning. It is creating my partition structure as I described. Now it is preparing the packages. This will take a while, but wait, don't rush, because our connection is remote through iDRAC. The installation ISO is mounted remote. Because of that, it will take some time. I will remove these parts and their additions so that our video doesn't take too long. Well, the packages are starting to install. Linux firmwares and the rest of RHEL package are being installed. Our installation is minimal. We will wait for this part to complete. Now, kernel configuration, bootloader installation, the post configuration are almost complete. Users are being created. initramfs is being created. Our RAID controller drivers are now added to this initramfs. And when the system boots, our controllers are detected and the system will start. Well, my post installation is complete. The installation is complete. Now I click on the reboot system and wait for the system to boot up. Well, I don't need the virtual media anymore. I can disconnect that. I will remove the RHEL Linux ISO and my driver ISO. I also click disconnect virtual media and wait for the system to boot from the disk and start with the same H310 RAID controller in the scenario I am installing. I can enter into UEFI boot menu and show you that the disks are connected to the H310 controller are used for the RHEL Linux loader. Click on the UEFI boot menu, look at the boot manager. Click on the RAID controller in slot 6. RHEL Linux, and we see that the system is booting from the local disks and loading well. This time is load very quickly. It's not like the installation process. I will also explain the tools that you can download and install from the Dell website to manage your hardware. I log in as root. Well, the LSI SAS software is not installed. I run lsblk. Look, the 3 virtual disks that I defined in iDRAC are displayed in the format of STR, STB, and STC. My operating system is on STB, which is connected to the H310 controller. I have internet. I will explain the rest of the installation procedure to you in the next part. Here are my network cards. Okay. I will explain the rest of the installation procedure in the next video. That's enough for now. Bye.